If you play Apex Legends alone and expect the game to gift you with 2 competent teammates, then you already know I've just told you the biggest joke of the season, because random players are like a box of chocolates. You hope for the orange cream, but 99% of that box is full of some pretentious praline, and that's too prestigious for my prehistoric palate, precipitating in the one thing we presume always happens when players from the party partake in combat. They get downed and leave. They don't care what happens to you, it's obviously your fault. You weren't reading their minds and clicking the heads of their inner desired target, but obviously you don't click the heads too much so that they can take the knock and feast on the glory of being crowned kill leader. That's what they want. But teammates leaving happens to me so often that I can honestly say this is the one thing that has actually made me better at Apex. So I suppose I should say thank you to these generous souls for upping my awareness and self-sufficiency, but I'm all out of gratitude because the result is always the same. I try, I run, I die. However, today would be the exception to that rule, because finally I held my lobby responsible for my misfortune and made them pay dearly for underestimating me. And who am I? I'm Ragtag, the greatest gutter tier gamer on the face of this earth, a man about to prove a lot of people wrong. My day started off quite well, in good cheer you might say, partly because I had 2 teammates, and I hope you'll forgive the minor spoiler in that these squad mates did not leave. Well, not intentionally. My shots were hitting, our squad was intact. Who knew that this was all it took for my spirits to be lifted after getting massacred in gold ranked matches that were inhabited by crazy talented Path to Pro wannabes, but I digress. The first game of the day was going well and our
I'm down.
Okay, Rampart just roasted herself on an open flame, and despite Horizon's elevation, she was gone. But my mood would not be torn down by a disconnect, no! And we carried on our momentum east, where I unwittingly awakened the power of Stinky Gas Poo Poo Man himself, Caustic.
Heads up.
Vanquished with ruthless aggression, we were then treated to a surprise. Oh my god, my internet died! Welcome back, pal. How am I still alive? Oh yes. Well... one of the few times I can say I've punched someone multiple times and they were actually happy about it. From here on, our game was further blessed by the Bocek, and then Rampart's loadout was enriched by the Rampage at Epicenter, a place I would very much like for you to park in your mind, as we're going to return to this sacred battleground later. But for now, it was time for our teamwork to fall apart.
Hostile spotted. He's nearby.
Wait. Good job, Horizon. And from here on, it was simple. We let the final 2 squads fight each other, and when the moment was right, I did the despicable deed of chasing down that last straggler with no mercy whatsoever. Champion! How could this day go wrong now? But it did go wrong. Very wrong. But first, today's video is sponsored by Keeps, which is the best way to deal with the one thing that us guys don't want to talk about, hair loss. Because 2 out of 3 of us will experience this in some way by the time we hit 35, but with a Keeps subscription, you can have clinically proven treatments delivered straight to your door and get to work right away on preventing hair loss or stimulating the growth of healthy new hair without ever having to go visit your doctor. Within 6 months of starting treatment, most Keeps customers start to see results, and because you get the product delivered ordered directly from the company, it's much cheaper, meaning that you'll pay up to half the price it would cost from the pharmacy. There's also an award-winning all-natural thickening shampoo and conditioner system to complement your routine, and a 24/7 support team consisting of medical advisors, doctors, and specialists that you can connect with as often as you want. Hair loss stops with Keeps. To get 50% off your first order, go to keeps.com/ragtag or click the link in the description. That's keeps.com/ragtag. After my victory, it was followed by loss after loss after loss. But this game started with a sense of familiarity as I recognized one of my teammates from the previous match. And let's just say, it didn't go well. Hold on, Vantage. This time, we reverse our fortune. Maybe a bit greedy of me to take both the armor and the shield battery, but with other footsteps echoing around the cavernous halls of Lava Siphon, there wasn't time to have a council meeting over loot distribution. At least I left the cells, but our octane had already been rumbled, and our hopes of survival were smothered by our positioning. Turns out that lava's bad for you. Hold on just a little longer, Vantage. I'm on my way, just try and survive. Here we go. Whoops. Here we go. This was it. The moment I had to decide. Run through that door and fight my enemies 1v3 with everything I have left, because who cares at this point? My teammates gave up on me without even waiting to see what I could do. Or do I do the other thing? Run. But I wasn't running because I was being chased. I was running because my enemies knew exactly where I was, and if you're gonna fight as a solo player, better to be that chaotic element of an existing battle. That moment where one team has to say, "Hey, is that Banga with you?" and the other one replies, "Hey, I thought they were with you." Shot in the back by the same team that was chasing me before. I was in too deep now. I'd have to see this through. You see me sitting right here on 1 HP, a gust of wind would blow me right back to the lobby, and the only thing in my mind was that I wanted to shove that charge rifle right up that distant team's enemy nostrils and clear out their sinuses. Unfortunately, I didn't have any way to recover my health, so mission Cauterize would be put on pause until I could get some heals. This was looking bad. Nothing in this building, so I pinned my hopes on the blue supply bin only to be met by cells. My last chance was this rustic structure, or it would be over. Oh, it was gonna be over all right, but not for me. As a solo player, there are no second chances. The golden knockdown shield revives feel like a distant memory. I needed to fix my loadout though and pack a punch to destroy these bridge dwellers. Oh, I got bamboozled and I may have pressed the select fire key by accident. From laser beam to spray then meme. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. Tell me, do you ever throw your ultimate and try and find a skulking downed opponent? There's no shame in it. I've got no shame when doing it. It's the same thing. Aha! There you are! I'd have probably given up on that revive if I were you, pal, but then I'll probably die the same way in my next game tomorrow. 8 squads left. We were getting closer to the end game, but I was far from confident after some of my opponents had lasered me within an inch of my doom. But with round 2 closing and a fight brewing on the streamer building of Fragment, perhaps I could once again be that wild card and capitalize on a fight that I had no business walking in.
Come on in. Old painless is here.
Freeze it! Right, now, you see that Octane crouching behind the fuse? Well, I didn't. And that tells you everything you need to know about the length of time since my eyes were last tested. Oh, and shut your mouth. At the time, I wondered if that enemy Octane was an absolute bot, but then I later realised perhaps he just ran out of ammo for his Prowler and dived to the nearest death box to retrieve some, only to get drilled in the back by a scorned Bangalore. 4 squads left now, and if I counted on one hand how many times I've won a game when my teammates left me right at the start, I'd be making a fist. I'd come so far, but now was the moment where I'd discover if I'd simply gotten lucky or if I was beginning to understand this legend just enough to take home a victory and prove that under the right circumstances, anyone can rise out of the gutter for just a moment, and quitters everywhere would see that giving up is not only a sign of weakness, but watching a lone player such as myself snatch the crown would serve as a call to arms to hold off that white flag. Never surrender, hold your knockdown shield up with pride, because if you do, maybe someone like me would be willing to lay it all on the line for one chance. Just one chance. Okay, that's enough, Braveheart. Let's do this.
Recharging shields. I'd just like to send a message now to all those quitters out there. Sometimes it's important to recognize that while getting lucky or unlucky is just the nature of the beast in Apex Legends, but the fact remains that those who would rather tap out and wait for the perfect start to their games are the ones who miss out on moments that you would cherish for years to come. So stop leaving games, and after your opponent knocks your banner into oblivion, use the afterlife as your home of reflection and plan your revenge, while trusting that your teammates might just give you the opportunity you need to turn the tables of a losing battle. Anyway guys, while that lobby did have some mixed skills in there, the fact that I barely survived made that victory all the sweeter. Next week we will continue the road to Diamond, and the climb is proving harder than any season I've tried so far, but the matches have brought an intensity that I am thoroughly enjoying. Take it easy, catch you on the next one. Later.